Hello everyone, this is Nitij, and in today's tutorial we are going to build a sleek file upload component in React and with a Node.js backend. This component will feature a drag and drop area, which is this one, and it will also be able to select files by opening a dialog. When the file will be either selected or dropped on this box, then a button will appear to upload the file. When the button will be clicked, then a progress bar will appear, which will indicate the upload progress. When the file will be uploaded, then the progress bar will be full and there will be a confirmation message. So this is what we are going to build. Now, before we start the code walkthrough, let's see a demo of how this component is working. I will first click on this box to open up the file dialog. We can select any file. When we will do that, then the file name and a message will appear along with the upload button. Clicking on the upload button is going to upload the file with a confirmation message. Similarly, we can drag and drop a file on this box. This will also print the file name along with the message to ready to upload. Click on upload and the file will be uploaded. This is what we are going to build. Okay, so this is Visual Studio Code and I have already created a folder with the name React File Upload. I will create two folders inside this folder with the name server and the other one is going to be client. Now, as the name indicates, server is for our Node.js backend server and client is for our React client. First, let's cd into this server and then run the command in the terminal npm init with the flag y, which simply means yes to all the questions. Now I will create a new file over here, which is going to be called as server.js. Now before I continue with the server, let me just open up another terminal and then cd into the client folder so that we can start the command for creating our React app. So npx create React app, and then for name I am just going to use file upload. Press enter. Now instead of waiting for the React project to be created, let's just open up the server.js file. Now the Node.js server is going to expose a backend API which we can call to upload the file. To do that, first we need to set up the backend with all the necessary third-party packages and dependencies. So I'm going to write npm and then install, and then first Express for the Express app, then cors, and then Multer. So Multer is going to be used for interacting with the disk storage to save the file contents. So first let's fetch all the three dependencies for Express, Multer, and cors. We are also going to need the dependencies for the file system and path. So file system and path are going to be used to create the uploads folder if it's not already there. Now let's first create the Express app. So const app equals to Express. So first we need to write the logic to create the uploads directory if it's not there. So first I will create a const for the uploads folder path. So upload dir equals to /uploads. Next, we need to make sure to create the directory if it's not there. That can be done by calling fs.make dir sync. Then we need to provide the upload directories path as an argument, and then I'm going to provide the option recursive equals to true. Next is time to set up the Multer for our disk storage. So Multer setup. So for this I'm going to call multer.disk.storage, and then I will provide two items as arguments. The first one is going to be the callback for the destination, and the second one is going to be the callback for the file name. So for destination we can create this function, and for file name the callback is this one. Calling multer.disk.storage is going to return a reference to the storage. So const storage equals to multer.disk.storage. Now we can use this storage to save our uploaded file. So const upload is going to be a function which is going to utilize the storage reference. So multer, and then the storage is the one which we have specified with this disk storage function call. So storage is going to be storage. storage, right? Alright, so next we need to create our post endpoint, but before that let's also add the CORS middleware. So app.use and then CORS, so that we are allowing the requests from the React client. Now for the endpoint, I will simply write app.post and then the path, which is going to be upload. First we will provide the upload.single as a middleware callback, so upload.single for a file, and then we will provide another callback which is to handle the request and response values. So request and response, this is going to be a function. Now in this function we will simply check if request has a file, then we will return the response with a status code of 200. If it is not, then we will send the response that no file was uploaded. So these will be the messages that we are returning. Finally, we just need to have the server listen on a port. So I'm just going to write app.listen on port 3001. The callback function is simply going to print a message with the port number, that so console.log, and server is running on port 3001. Now let's first try to run this server to see if there are no errors. So node server.js, it says request is not defined. Let's see what the issue is. Alright, so I forgot to provide the closing parenthesis. Now let's save it again, and I don't think we will need this extra one. This time we can see the message that server is running on port 3001. Now our server part is finished, and now let's move on to the React frontend. So in the client folder in the src, I will create a new folder with the name components, and I will create another folder within this one with the name file upload. Let's create a new file with the name index.jsx. Now let's use the shortcut to generate the arrow function template. So file upload. Alright, now for React as well, we need to install some dependencies first before we can start to do anything else. So let's open up the terminal and let's cd into our file upload folder first. First I will install Axios, so npm install Axios. I will also install Tailwind CSS to do all the styling. So for this parent div, I will be simply applying classes to justify all the items in the center, and also to use the flex call layout. Now first we need to add a file input which will be hidden, and then we will be adding a div container for our upload box. So for the file input, I will simply add an input type of file, but we are also going to need a ref for our file input. So let's first create that ref. So const file input ref equals to use ref. Now I'm going to add the file input. So for this file input, the type is file and the ref is the one that we created over here. You can see that the class name is hidden because we will not be using the default functionality of the HTML's file input type, but we will be using it to trigger the open file dialog. So that will happen in the handle file change function. So let's provide the implementation of this handle file change function. So for the handle file change function, let's create a new arrow function. Now here we need to store the file name somewhere, and for that I am going to create a new state variable with the name selected file. So let's do that. Now in this function I will simply call set selected file, and I will provide the file which has been selected by simply referencing the event target files collections first item. Let's also import the dependencies for use state and use ref as well. Next, add a new div for our upload box. So for that I will create a new div. Now for this div I am going to add a class name first. So class name is going to be, because the styling is going to be dynamic, I'm going to use a template string. First I'm going to add the classes which are not going to be changed, which are for the width, height, flex layout, centering all the items, cursor should be pointer, and the positioning for this div is going to be relative because our progress bar is going to be positioned as absolute. Now let's provide the onClick event handler for this div. So for onClick, I will create a new function with the name handleClick. So the handleClick function is simply going to trigger the click event of this input type file. So we can access this control by using this file input ref. So this is the handleClick function, which is simply triggering the click event of this input type file. So the click event handling of our file upload box is done. Now it's time to address the file drag and drop. So for that, we need to provide the values for the on drop and on drag over attributes. So on drop and then on drag over. So on drag over. For on drag over, we just have to provide a function which is going to stop the event's default behavior and also to stop the propagation of event to its parent elements. So this is the handle drag over function that I will be using. So let's paste it here. For handle drop as well, first we will be preventing the event's default behavior and to stop the propagation. So let me first rename it. So handle drop. This function will be triggered when we have dropped the file on our upload box. So first we need to get the reference of the file which has been dropped. That can be done by simply calling event.datatransfer.files collections first item. Now let's call the set selected file function to set the selected file. So I will simply provide the file that we have fetched as an argument over here. Let's also add another state variable which will indicate that the file has been dropped. If that's the case, then we can update the message within the file upload box. So for that, I will create a new state variable with the name is file dropped. So is file dropped simply means that the file is available in the upload box. So we have to set its value to true first in the handle file change function and also in the handle drop function. So let's do that. Now when the file has been dropped, then we can update the styling information of our upload box as well. And let's also paste the handle drop function for the on drop attribute. So we will change the border's default state to green when the file has been dropped. So first let's add the default state for the border, which we haven't added yet for our upload box. So border is going to be having a width of border 2. And then let's add the condition: if file is dropped, then the border is going to be green, otherwise the border is going to be dashed and of color blue. Now within this upload box, if the upload is not yet done but the file is dropped, then we have to show a message that the file is ready to upload. If upload is not complete and the file is also not dropped, then we have to show the message to the user that you can either click or drop your file here. But for that, let's create another state variable to indicate if the upload is yet completed or not. So let's do that. Upload complete. So for the handle file change, we will set it to false, and also for handle drop, we will set it to false. Now it's time to use it in our upload box. So if not upload complete, then we are going to add another condition. If is file dropped, then we have to show a message, otherwise we have to show another message. So if file is dropped, then we are going to show the selected file's name and the message that the file is ready to upload. Otherwise we will show another message which is going to be click or drop your file here. The next thing that we need to do over here is to display a button when the file is ready to be uploaded. So over here we can add the conditions: if the file upload is not complete, and also if the file is not uploading but the file is dropped, then we are going to display the button. So we have to add another state variable which will simply indicate if the file upload is in progress or not. So for that I will add is uploading, and again when the file input change event is triggered, then we have to set is uploading to false. Similar to this, we have to do this for the handle drop function as well. While we are at it, let's add another state variable for the upload progress, which will simply drive the progress bar that we will display. The name is going to be upload progress. So set the upload progress to 0. whenever a new file has been added to our upload box. Now let's go back to our condition to display the button. So if file is not uploading and upload is not complete and the file is dropped, then we are going to display the button to upload the file. So the button is going to have the text upload, and when the button will be clicked, then we are going to call a function with the name handle upload. So let's provide the implementation for this handle upload function. So const handle upload equals to a new arrow function. We will have the event as an argument. So event, first we need to call event.stopPropagation to trigger the upload box's click event as well, because we just want to trigger the button's click event and not the upload box's click event, because that is going to trigger again the file upload, the file selection dialog. First, let's add a fallback message if the file is not selected but the button is clicked somehow, which will simply show an alert, please select a file first. Next, before we start to upload, we need to set the is uploading state variable to true. Now we need to create form data, because that is what we will be using to provide the file as a payload to our backend API. So let's first create form data by calling the form data constructor. Next, we will simply append our selected file by using the form data's file property. Now it's time to use Axios to call our backend API. So let's first add the try and catch blocks. So I'm going to write const response equals to await Axios dot post. Now because we are going to use the await keyword, we need to set this handle upload function as async. First, I will provide the endpoint URL, which is this one, localhost 3001, and then upload. Then I will provide the form data, and then I will provide an object which is going to have the headers information. So for headers, I'm going to provide the value for content type, which is the multipart form data, because we are using the form data. Next, for our file upload progress, we can use a function which is going to use the progress event. So using this onUpload progress function, we can set the value for our upload progress state variable, which is this one, to simply indicate what percentage of file has been uploaded. Now this is a simple formula to calculate the percentage out of the total and using the value which has been loaded. So loaded into 100 divided by the total. So we also need to know when the upload has been finished, and that can simply be done by checking the response's status. So if response.status is 200, then we can simply set the upload complete state variables value to true. So upload complete is going to be set to true. For any error, we can log to the console a simple message that the upload has failed. And finally, after our backend API has been called, we can simply set the is uploading to false, because our file has either uploaded successfully or the upload process has failed. In either case, we can set this state variable is uploading to false. Now it's time to implement the progress bar. So for progress bar, first we will simply check if the upload progress has some value. So if the upload progress is more than 0, then we can use a simple div to render a progress bar with a gradient background. So let's first add the div. So this is going to be the parent div for the progress bar, which is going to be positioned as absolute at the bottom. The height is going to be h2 with the full width. Now the child div is going to be the actual div, which will indicate the progress. So let's do that. For this one, first I will set the class name to full, but the actual logic for the progress is going to be implemented in the style. So for style, first we need to set the width. So width is going to be the upload progress. So hold on, this is going to be $, and then upload progress. Now we cannot use the dynamic Tailwind classes to set the width, because Tailwind only generates utility classes when it parses their use in our code base. It simply means that the dynamically generated class names, Tailwind is not going to generate the utility classes. For background, I will simply use the linear gradient function, which is pretty simple to implement. Going from left to right, changing from one color to another. Now after this, the only thing which is left to do is to use this file upload component in our app component. So import file upload, and then now let's see if our file upload component is working as intended or not. In the terminal, I will simply write npm and then start. So it says Axios is not defined, which is pretty simple to fix. I just have to open up the file upload and then I will have to import Axios. So let's first click on this upload box. I am going to select a file, click on upload. So the progress is full, but we are not seeing the message if the file is uploaded or not. I don't think we have added the message which will indicate that the file upload has been complete. So let's add one. So if upload is complete, then we will simply add a message indicating that the upload was successful. Okay, so now it says upload is successful. So we have uploaded the file, but let's also check if file has been saved in our backend or not. So for that, I will simply open up the server folder, and over here you can see in the uploads folder we have the file which we have uploaded. Now let's test the drag and drop file feature. So I'm going to drag the second file. The file name is here. Click on the upload button. Let's now check. The file has been uploaded. And that was everything about building this file upload component. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and are excited to implement it in your own projects. So if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Your support really helps me and motivates me to create more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.